Hey everyone, welcome back to Differently. I'm excited to have Jenny Zook back with us from Style School, and we're going to just have a conversation about confidence, which I feel like it's been such an important topic in my life. It's such an important topic in my client's life, and what we wear in our clothes have such an impact. So, welcome, Jenny.
Hi, very excited to be back and be having a conversation because I feel like this confidence is really at the heart of everything that I do. A lot has changed since the first time I was on and we had a conversation. So it's going to be fun to chat.
That's true. So we'll link it in the show notes. But Jenny was on, I can't believe it, in May of 22. And it was all about style and inner confidence. So you're going to want to go back and listen to that too. And definitely your business has changed. So tell us a little bit about what is happening I mean, I'm in there, so I can speak to it too, but let's talk about some of the highlights of what's happening today in style school. And for people who may be new to style school, like tell us a little bit about what it is.
Sure. So I guess I can't really tell you what it is without telling you where it started, which was very different. And that's you and I had a conversation back when I was first getting started because Style School will turn 2 this year. But my business in helping women feel really confident in their clothes started almost 4 years ago. So I started by building tools that were sort of like a do it yourself, a seasonal capsule that was just like it's your guidebook of how to feel stylish season by season by season. And then I was like, here you go. I did all the work and you can take it from here. And what I learned was that isn't enough for most women to be able to
Mm.
figure out how to put clothes on their body that make them feel really good. So the teacher in me, I have a teaching background, and I started to quickly figure out women need more support. Women need more guidance around how to really figure out this beast that is personal style. And I was trying to figure out, well, how do I do that? How do I offer that extra layer of support and really build in a sense of community? Because most women do better when there is a community of them who are also having similar challenges and struggles, which, by the way, we all are. We all are
Yes.
feeling these things, right? And looking in the mirror and saying, ugh, why doesn't this look right? And what's wrong with my body? And these pants look so great on her. Why don't they look good on me? And so Style School was born, which is really a place where you can come and ask those questions and get the support you need day to day to day. Um, and it is a beautiful thing. It is more than I could have ever dreamed of it being, in the sense of like the true sense of community that not just I mean, I created it, but the women that are in there and that are willing to be vulnerable and ask the questions, it's magical. And I say that all the time because it really does feel like a little piece of magic. And you're gonna get the answers that you're looking for, and you're gonna get the advice that like you would get from your most honest friend in the dressing room. And then, so that was created. So you still get the seasonal capsules, which is the playbook that we sort of ground us all. Like we're all going to sort of speak the same language based on the seasonal capsules. And then there is this sort of back and forth, and we have these additional lessons that I teach every season to help you tackle the biggest challenges that the season throws at you, like jeans or shorts. I was floored last year to figure out how many people in style school haven't worn shorts since high school. And I was like, wait, what is happening? Swimsuits, the things that like make us all like get a little sweaty.
Cringe.
Yeah, and cringe to that we have to like go try on or try to find. So I do that every month. And then this year in 2025, it's evolving again, which is the beauty of being an entrepreneur and also the most challenging part of being an entrepreneur,
For
right?
sure.
Um, it never stays the same. But I wanted to add in another layer because, yes, clothes are a huge part of us feeling confident and not cringing when we look in the mirror. And I think that they can be um, a lever to help us open the door to that bigger conversation, because there is some heavy lifting when it comes to having the conversation around how do I feel more confident? And I wanted to find new ways to help support women. And I am not an expert in all things. And so I'm inviting other women to come in and speak to some of the things that are still barriers. And a lot of that has to do with mindset, but there are definitely some tangible things like
Mm.
figuring out your colors and figuring out what do you do after you edit your closet. And I have this mound of clothing, what can I do with it? And um, you know, those types of things that that I'm inviting other women to come in and speak to help us tackle sort of the next level of living our most confident lives.
It's so beautiful, Jenny. And I love that you combine, I think that's why you and I connected so much in the beginning. Like you combine the mindset piece with the style piece and like the psychology of all of it. Like I've been fascinated just like looking at like why do I hang on to certain things in my closet?
Mm,
And why is it hard to get rid of some things? And why like there's so much psychology in what we do in our closet, right? And how we get in our clothes and how we feel in our clothes. And I have learned so much being in style school and I feel like there's so much that's happening underneath the surface of what you're doing
mm,
that because like you said you have all these beautiful structures like the capsules are so amazing. Like just I'm so excited cuz the spring capsule is
oh
coming.
my gosh, it's so good.
It
I do
is
think it's my favorite. It's my favorite child. I do love spring, and I don't know if it's because I live in Colorado now. I grew up in Arizona, where Carla is, and there's something about being able to like shift from winter wardrobe to like spring, and it is it's a good one.
yes. And for people listening, like getting a capsule to then go shopping, like Jenny's done all the work. She's chosen pieces for all of our different that work for our different body types. She's put them together in outfits and she picks out the most amazing, cute pieces. And it made me realize like how much also I would go shopping and just buy things, but didn't really have a plan for how to incorporate them in my wardrobe. And then I don't end up not wearing them. And then you have regret. And like, there's just so many layers to all of it.
Yes, yes, there sure are, and I do think that um as we're moving into spring and Spirit Week is coming up, like that's one of the hot topics that I want to tackle in Spirit Week this go round, which is what a lot of women do is they're like, okay, it's a new season and I want some new stuff for my wardrobe. I want to like give it a little bit of a zhuzh. I want to refresh it. And we go and we just like randomly throw stuff in our carts online or in our bags and we come home with it and it's like, what do I do? What do I do with this?
Yes.
And how does it work or why isn't it working? And my goal is to sort of take that guesswork out of the equation and show you what to go get based on what you already have. But you're right, you're absolutely right. Like there are so many layers to our closets and what is in there and why is it in there. And uh it can be hyper emotional to actually like go through and have those conversations. And I think having somebody hold you accountable because it can easily end up at the bottom of our to-do list. Um, I heard somebody call it a ta-da list the other day, and I was
Yes, I've
like,
heard that.
"You've heard that?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I love that!" Like, ta-da, I did it.
Ta-da, I did it. Yes.
Yes, I'm like, that's so genius. But cleaning out our closets ends up at the bottom of that list a lot for a lot of women because it feels like it's so big and it's too much. It's overwhelming. And I really have these emotions tied to some of these pieces, and to be able to move past those, I think requires oftentimes an outside influence.
Yeah, so speak a little bit to just this confidence piece, like from your perspective, as leaders in our lives and moms and business owners, like what is the confidence piece that ties so closely to our closets and what we put on and how we look in the mirror and how we present ourselves, right? In our businesses.
Totally. So I think that I would love to know if there were statistics around this, and I've looked for them. And it's upwards of like between 80 and 90% of women don't like what their reflection looks like when they look in the mirror. There's always something, right? I mean, we are experts. And unfortunately, we've been trained to be really good at picking ourselves apart and finding every flaw and telling ourselves that something is wrong with our bodies, with our clothes, with anything, with our hair, with our makeup, you name it. We are just very, very good. And we've become that way of just completely shredding ourselves when we look in the mirror. And I know for a fact a lot of the problem are the clothes that you're putting on your body, and they're not the right clothes. And listen, like we were mentioning earlier, there is more to this confidence equation than just the clothes. However, when we can look in the mirror and not cringe and say, "Oh, oh hey, like wait a second, I actually kind of like the way
Mhm.
that this pair of jeans fits my curves, or what it's doing for my backside, or how it is locking and loading our favorite part of our bodies, especially if you've had babies. This midsection that is sort of just like squishy and hanging out. Um, when you can embrace and maybe even smile when you look in the mirror, it does something for how you show up in the rest of your day, in your business, for your family, for your friends, for your colleagues, whatever it is, because you can take that feeling and it ripples out. And that is what I am chasing for every single woman that I come in contact with, frankly, not just the women in style school.
Mhm.
Because if you can do that for yourself more often than not, imagine the impact it's going to have in every aspect of your life. And I do believe that when you get the ball rolling in that direction on the confidence front, it allows you to think, gives you some headspace to say, okay, I can tackle where that
This hard
actual
thing.
story that I've been telling myself since I was, gosh, when did these stories start for girls?
My gosh. You're tiny.
7, 8,
Yeah.
9 years old. And it gets reinforced, right, from a lot of different places. But like to go to that level, I think you have to start by like opening the door to like get down in there. And I just think like the more that you can um take action to change your belief, the easier it is to do some of the heavier lifting.
So true. Not too long ago, like I caught myself like seeing myself in the mirror and saying negative things in my head, and I told myself like, no more. Like
Hmm.
now when I want, like, I kind of challenge myself, like every time you look in the mirror, find something you like instead of something you don't like. And that has really helped a lot. But it's
Yeah.
like we're so trained to just rip it apart. And when we look at other women, like when I see other women in even in style school, I notice what's great. I notice what looks good. Like it's
Yeah.
not the default to look for what's wrong only with me, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, when it comes to
Hmm.
our own image, it is like we're our own worst critics. Like, how many
Yeah.
times have you heard that said? And it's interesting. I think I think when you are a part of a community like Style School or any group of women that has come together to really lift each other up, you learn how to look for the good.
Mm.
But I also think a lot of women do this to other women. We can be hyper judgmental because it's like we've been so conditioned to like be judgmental. And it so when you're doing it to yourself, it's easy to do it to other people too. And I think that like that whole dynamic needs to shift and be reshaped. And I mean, it's got to start with yourself.
Well, and I think in style school, like you just, everybody is so different, right? Their styles are so
So
different, their
different.
body shapes are so different. Like it's been so enlightening. And so, like what you were saying, like sometimes we just have the wrong clothes on, like how true that is. And like I've seen some transformation in style school just because they changed kind of how they're wearing things, and it like completely changes like their body shape, the way they look in the mirror. Like there are a few women that recently have just they're just sparkling, like
I know. I
because they
love
feel
it.
confident in their clothes, it shines out of their face because they
Like,
feel better. And I
right?
reminds me, like when I was a teenager, I was obsessing in the mirror, and my mom would say, forget yourself and go have a good time. And like, it still makes me cry. My mom's not here anymore, but like, it used to make me so mad when she would say that because I knew I was spending too much time fussing over
Mm,
my hair or whatever. And those were such wise words. And I feel like, Jenny, what you teach us in style school and like the confidence we get from each other and saying, oh my gosh, you look amazing. Um, and then we learn to like wear something that we thought maybe we couldn't wear that like we actually can wear and feel good in. And then we can go forget ourselves and like be of service in the
yes.
world in the ways that we're here to do.
Yes. Yes. It's almost like how many times have you had an experience in your life where you're like in a meeting or you're at an event or you're even like sitting at lunch with a group of friends and like you can't stop thinking about the way something fits or like you're squirming or you're like constantly
Does this
adjusting your
look
waistband
okay? Or like,
and you can't it's like you can't even enjoy or be
yes.
present because you're so obsessed. By the way, nobody is paying as much attention as you are, but it is a barrier to like living your life outside of like what's going on here. And how what a gift to be able to like set it and forget it. Like I know I like what I look like when I left the house today, and I don't need to like worry about it. And I don't need
Think
to be
about it
constantly
anymore.
right. And it actually feels good on my body on top of it, right? It's not just like, it's not just about how it looks in the mirror. It's also about how it feels on your body so that you don't like squirm all day in these like clothes that just that there's something wrong with. I say it all the time, but like there's nothing wrong with your body. There's something wrong with the clothes.
Mm,
And it, like,
yes.
let me help you find what's wrong with the clothes so that we can just take it out of the equation and out of this, like, not just time suck in the morning when you're going to get dressed, but like the amount of space it's taking up in your head all day long. Oh my gosh, the freedom that comes when you can take that out of the equation, I think is massively underrated.
Well, and I think the other thing you've taught me is like just the taking a picture of your outfit, like how different sometimes I can like look in the mirror at my outfit and then take a photo of the outfit and be like, wait a minute, that looks good. But in the mirror, it
Right?
doesn't. What is that, Jenny? How
I
does that
don't
happen?
know. I don't, it is different. It is
It
different. And like,
is.
and so many women, because of those, I keep pointing at the mirror because it's in my office. And I'm like, look, there it is. So many women have such a negative relationship with that dang mirror. They're terrified of taking pictures of themselves. I mean, terrified to the point of like, I have had women participate in every single spirit week and will not
Do a
take a single
photo.
picture of themselves because they hate it. They are worried how like that there is such a major hangup. And I'm telling you, when you take pictures of your outfits, especially if you are like, which jeans look better? Which shoes look right here? And you put them side by side, it's so obvious. Once you start learning some of the skills that I teach inside of style school, you can literally see it. And I don't know, like the pictures just are different than the mirror. And I do think it's because of this lifelong relationship that we have with mirrors as women. It is it's sad and I think it's dangerous.
Mhm. You talk a lot about, I feel like you sent out a newsletter, and your newsletter is so good. So we'll make sure to put a link to the sign up for that in the show notes too. But you did something where it was like you'd had a heck of a week or a day. I can't remember being a mom, all the things. But you talked about like putting on your outfit for the day can be like a game changer for you. And so when you've had like a hard morning or whatever, like what does that look like for you? And how do you approach your closet in a way that that could shift the rest of your day?
That's a great question. So yes, uh, I have twin boys, and they are high maintenance. I like to call them because they have a lot of needs and quirks and things that make parenting far more challenging than I ever anticipated. I'm sure most parents can resonate with that, but it can easily change the trajectory of my day based on how they slept or what's happening in the morning and what challenges are being thrown my way. And I I'm a morning person, so my mornings I try to get ahead of that because if I let them determine how the rest of my day is going to go,
Mhm.
it would not more often than not, it would probably go sideways. So I try to get dressed before they're out of bed in the morning, which means I get up very early. But um, I use clothes to set myself up for the type of day I want to have. So um, I choose the colors. I choose some item that I'm like, what would give me joy today? Is it something in the athleisure category? And for those of you that don't know me, I love myself some athleisure, and I don't mean leggings. Okay. I don't mean sweatshirts and, sweatpants. I mean athleisure that looks like I'm wearing a suit kind of. And I like to use those types of pieces a lot in my wardrobe because I work from home and I comfort is very, very important to me, but I also like to look the part. So I am recording this podcast with Carla today and I wanted to look professional. So I'm wearing jeans, but I'm wearing a graphic t-shirt and a blazer that's made out of sweatshirt material. Um, but the colors are bright and fun because I wanted to show up high energy. So I choose based on how I want to feel that day, how I want to show up for my day. And sometimes, our days, especially as entrepreneurs, look wildly different depending on your day. But I go in with that mindset of like, what feeling am I after today? And what's going to bring me joy? Sometimes it's a pair of shoes. Sometimes it's a graphic t-shirt. Sometimes it's a really bright color, because I'm like dragging and I need something to like brighten my day. But if I can do that for myself, um, you know, I can then have a different kind of energy when I go to face the challenges that I know the day is going to throw at me. Um, it's always something. As an entrepreneur, as a mom to children that I swear I'm like, this can't be normal. What is happening? I ask myself that pretty much every day. Um, Things that I can control are so powerful, and your clothes are one of them. And believe it or not, they are sending messages to yourself. At the end of the day, you should be getting dressed because of what it does for you, not what it says or does for anybody else.
Mm, I love that. I just want to highlight what you said because it's so parallel to what I teach in everything. All the work that I do too is like instead of going after things in our life in order to feel better, like achieving things so that we feel better, lead with
Hmm.
the feeling. What's the feeling you want to feel first? Like, is it joy? Is it peace? Whatever it is. And then ask yourself, like, how can I create that right here today? So you're not living your life for someday when something happens. Because if you don't know how to cultivate those feelings in your life now, you're not going to
Hmm.
know how to do it when you achieve that thing. And so, plus, you waste all this time trying to get somewhere that may never happen, right? So, this is just another way we can cultivate those feelings in our life right here. And I love what you said. Like, don't let the circumstances of your day lead your life. Like, you get to lead your life. And
Hmm.
there are choices and things that we can always control to make such a difference there. Um,
Yes. Yeah, I 100% agree with you, but I also think that comes back to what we have been trained to believe is how you get there. How do you get how do I create happiness? How do I you chase it? You work hard for it. You know, and actually it's in here already. You can find
100%.
it. But I do think you have to be taught a new way of thinking about it, of how to find it, right? It isn't out there. Those things are nice. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like when people say, "Oh my gosh, I love your outfit today." You can keep the compliments coming because that definitely, I think all of us like external validation. But at the end of the day, I should be able to have that with it inside me. And it takes work and it takes practice and it takes learning that skill set that you teach, that I teach. Um, but I don't know that there's any other. I think both of those things in combination. I mean, if I had, I don't know, if I had to pick one, what Carla teaches or what I teach, like what would I pick? What would I pick? I don't
If you
know.
had to pick one, we don't
Oh,
have to
that's a
do
hard one.
that.
I would, well, I
It
probably,
is.
I think I probably would pick what Carla does first because um, there's just so much power in knowing yourself. That self-awareness, I think, is key. And actually, the more you know yourself, the easier it is to find your personal style, right? You can, when you understand things about yourself, you can look and say, oh, I'm drawn to that. And that like lights me up because I know myself well enough to know what lights me up. So, but I don't know that there's any other more worthy investment in and knowing those things about yourself and how to really cultivate happiness within versus chasing all of the things, especially for all those type A'ers. I'm a type A. I'm a I'm a workhorse. I'm an achiever, and that is a really hard thing to unwind.
It is, but not impossible. Same.
No,
I mean,
not
I'm just like, it's
impossible.
a practice, right? Like, me
Uh-huh.
too. I relate to all those things too. And it's been like just a practice of unwinding and unlearning, right? So you can create new
Yes.
experiences. Is there Is there something that would be simple to teach? Like someone who's listening who wants to shift their approach around this? Like, let's just say, like, is there something you could kind of teach that would give them something to start with? And then, of course, we'll invite them into what's happening soon. But
I would say the number one thing if you want your clothes to feel better on your body is to understand your shape. And
mm,
while I never tell women, there are these there are these shapes. Like you could be an apple, you can be a pear, you can be a rectangle. Nobody fits perfectly into any of those buckets, right? But it gives you a place to start because when you know those things about your body, maybe you carry weight in your midsection, maybe you have a really small waist and big hips. Okay. There are clothes designed and cut for your particular shape. And that's why when you know those things about yourself, you can grab things that are a curvy fit. You can grab things that are um, petite. You can grab things that have a neckline that is going to make you look taller and leaner. And then you will start to recognize that your body isn't the problem. And I think that is like the foundational understanding of when you know those things, because once you start to learn, like, these are the types of pants that really work well on my body, you know what to look for. And then you're going to also start to find where you can find them that you have regular success. So it's less of a guessing game. If you know that, like, oh, I found this particular brand of jean and Nordstrom sells them and um, I don't know, Evereve sells them and or Old Navy and Gap, I can go back to that place and find another color or another this season's version of that same pant, and I'm going to be able to get the size I know works and the cut and the shape that I know work so that I feel like I am not spinning my wheels over and over and over again. I think that is like the foundational knowledge that you need to have to be able to find to be able to like move the needle in the right direction.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Um, well, and I think one of the other things I remind myself all the time, like you have taught us, is don't worry so much about the label and the size, because
Ugh.
clothes like sizes vary. Even my husband was navigating that the other day. He's like, why am I this size and it feels small? And I'm like, don't pay attention to that. Jenny says not to pay attention to that. Like, and that's just like so much
Yeah,
freedom in that, even with
that's a great
swimsuits.
one. Oh,
Yes.
swimsuits. Yeah, swimsuits are like a
That's a whole nother
whole. It's
conversation.
literally like another planet. Unfortunately, and
I'm
like the
sure.
sizing on swimsuits, I'm like yeah, that it's a nightmare. But I do feel like
Like
I
just
have.
getting what feels good and
Yes.
don't make it mean anything.
No, because honest to God, it is so bananas how retailers do their sizes. You can literally be three different sizes in the same store on the same day. And like you're one size in this kind of pant, and you're another size in this kind of pant, and you're a totally different size in this dress and the tops. You just have to, you just have to be willing to go up a size and not let it tell you your worth.
All the things, yes.
You
And just
you
go for
just
feeling good in it.
and it fitting right and it not creating extra lumps and bumps because you're bound and determined to zip those pants up.
Yeah.
Stop.
Or lose weight so you can wear
Or
it
right.
or
Or I will get these, I will go back and get those when I've lost 10 pounds. And
yeah.
that story has just got to stop because all we do is continue to put ourselves right back in the narrative where we have been taught to stay our whole lives. It's
Well,
not
and
worth
you
it.
do such a good job of reminding us about like goal clothes, like, and I think Sasha like really reinforced your message. I loved what she said, like, don't have goal clothes like I need to lose this amount of weight and then I can wear that, but have goal clothes like I'm gonna wear this when we go to Costa Rica and I can't
I
freaking
know.
wait. I loved
Yes.
that.
Yes. I love that too. That was one of the things I wanted to carry over into style school. And then my family got sick and I didn't get on top of it as I want to, but that stuff does, it should be like, I can't wait to wear that because it makes me feel. Those are the kind of
Yes.
clothes you want to have, goal clothes you want to have in your closet. Not I hope to get back into that someday, or I'm going to wear that when I've done boot camp for 6 weeks. And by the way, you might do boot camp for 6 weeks and your body looks exactly the same or looks worse because of your hormones or you name it, whatever's going on in our crazy bodies that we call being a woman. Goodness gracious, it is tough. It is tough. And the last thing we need to be is harder on ourselves.
It is tough, but I feel like all the things you teach lighten the places we can lighten. So
Yeah.
tell us about what's happening March 9th and how people can be a part of it.
So I have created an adult spirit week, and I don't know about you. I have little. My boys are 9, and so spirit weeks make me sort of want to like pull my hair out a little bit. But this is an adult spirit week because I'm a teacher. I have created a space every season where I invite women to come in. It's free, and I teach you a lot over the course of the week, and I give you outfit formulas for that season that are giving you a preview of some of the things that are in the spring capsule that I have created. But I'm showing you how to take the cuts and shapes and sort of overall silhouette of an outfit and how to leverage it for your body and why it works to sort of build in some of the knowledge that I share inside of Style School. It's super fun. If you're looking for ways to refresh your wardrobe, I also give you ideas on how to find these pieces. For yourself if you're just looking for some quick wins. And it's a lot of fun. And I'm also going to be teaching within Spirit Week this year of if I were building my wardrobe from scratch, what pieces would I absolutely want to have in my wardrobe? So that when you start to get that piece under control, you can say, oh gosh, like I'm really attracted to, I don't know, Jennifer Aniston's style or Kristen Bell's style, or I like to use celebrities because they usually have pretty specific style so that you know what to sprinkle on top. I call trends and like things that like really sort of set you apart from like a white t-shirt and jeans, right? What kinds of things are you drawn to so you know, okay, I have the foundation. What would I sprinkle in? And why am I going and getting these items? Because I know what I'm drawn to. So I'm going to teach you how to do both of those things to sort of kick off our week together. And the energy is just, it's palpable. It's so much fun. And we learn a lot from one another, and we learn a lot based on all the different body types and all the different ages. And oh, you took that formula and did like this spin on it. And like, that's so cool. And I want to remember that. I'm going to take some
Mhm.
screenshots and I'm going to like
Totally.
save this so that I can, you know, feel differently this season. And that's what I'm after.
Mhm.
And so Spirit Week kicks off on March 9th, where I'm going to be teaching, and then we spend the whole week together, um, learning and encouraging and inspiring one another to just feel really good, and put some intentionality into what we're putting on our bodies every day.
So fun. And it's like seeing well, one, the outfit formulas are great because it's like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna wear today. And during Spirit Week, it's like she already has an idea, so you can always go with that, which is so fun. And then, like you said, see everyone's variations. But even just on an ordinary day, sometimes like last Friday when I did my class, I'm like, what do I want to wear today? And sometimes I'll just pop in Voxer and see what everyone else is wearing today, and it'll
Yes.
inspire an idea. And I saw somebody's outfit and I literally was like, oh, that's what I'm going to do. And it just takes
Yep.
all the overthinking out of the picture, which
Yes.
is
The analysis
awesome.
paralysis. It's like, oh, okay, I can do that. And I probably don't have all those pieces. That's the other thing. Like, I don't teach you how to just go shop and buy a brand new wardrobe every season. I want to teach you how to use what you already have and then add some sprinkles on top to give it a little bit of new life each season because I think we all deserve to have some new things that aren't, you're not buying your kids and you're not spending on the family and you're not like, give yourself, some little fun little fresh things. Because we all deserve that. But yeah, it's not about going and buying new. It's like, how can I create something similar using the stuff that I already have in my closet?
Yeah. And Jenny, you're so generous in there. I mean, you're so generous in helping us. I mean, whatever you have and need support around, like Jenny is so incredibly helpful. Like if you have a speaking event coming up and you want an outfit, which I do, by the way, I've got to post it because I need your help with a live
Yay!
speaking event. Yeah. But she'll give you ideas, or you have a formal event to go to, or that stuff is so incredibly helpful. And the way in which you share your feedback is so great too. Like you just have such a beautiful way of telling us, like, try, like we already know. We usually already know when an outfit isn't working. And then
Hmm.
Jenny will just say, "What if you tried this?" Like just the other day, you're like, "Put a belt on to somebody." And she put the belt on. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, game changer." The outfit was perfect. And the belt just like took it up a whole different notch.
Yes. Yeah. It can be tricky. And I will tell you, like, total transparency, it is hard sometimes to give feedback to women when their outfits aren't working. So I appreciate that very much. I try really hard. And I mean, as a
You
teacher,
do
you
such a
get a
good
lot of
job.
feedback. You get a lot of feedback from people coming and literally watching you in real time and saying, like, whoa. You get a lot of bad feedback. You get a lot of good feedback. So that is something that I have tried really hard to master because we're not in there to break each other down, right? But I
Yeah.
am going to tell you when something's not working.
Well, and
Um,
that's what we want. We don't want you to just be like, "Oh, that looks
right.
great." Like we're there to learn, and so
Yes.
you balance that so incredibly well. Um,
Oh, well,
so
thank you.
come check out Spirit Week, Style School Spirit Week.
Yes.
Links are in the show notes. I highly encourage it. I'll be there too, and it's so
Yes.
much fun.
It's so much fun.
So much fun.
I love it. Is one of my most favorite every season. I can't wait to do it. And it's a lot of work, but those light bulbs that go off for women, like you just can't, it's so worth it. So please come join us. It
Yes.
is a blast.
It is a blast. Jenny, one last question before we go. And I probably asked you this last time you were on, but your answer might have changed. What does differently mean to you?
Oh, I think my answer has probably changed. I think differently means doing, pushing yourself to do things that you like, undoing the training, undoing the conditioning, and showing up differently in your life based on the life that you want to be living.
So beautiful. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
joining
much.
me. Yeah. And I can't wait to see you in Style School, Spirit Week.
Yes.
And yeah, thank you so much, Jenny. Love that our paths are connected, and um, we'll do this again.
Yes. Thanks, Carla.
Have an amazing day.